Are you doubting if the reward will ever come? Have you set a timeline, 1 year, 5 years, 10, and watched the dates pass like shadows, with no sign of your breakthrough, no confirmation of progress, no reward for your obedience? Does it feel like the heavens have closed, like your desire has betrayed you, like perhaps you were never meant to succeed after all? Then hear me now and hear me well. You are not delayed because you are denied. You are delayed because you are being designed. You are not behind schedule. You are exactly where infinite intelligence needs you to be for the formation of your strength, the purification of your spirit, and the preparation of your destiny. This silence is not abandonment. It is a sacred test. And the man who listens to this message, who takes every word into his bones, who walks by these principles and obeys these laws, will never doubt again. Not because the trial ends, but because he becomes the man who is no longer moved by delay. He understands that God's timing is exact and that miracles are never rushed. They are revealed at the appointed hour. If you are weary from waiting, tired of hoping, tempted to quit, then this is your summons. Listen to this, and you will never walk by doubt again. Part 1. Delay is the first proof that the dream is real. If your reward were meant to be small, it would have arrived by now. But the fact that you are waiting, the fact that it has not yet come, is not proof of denial. It is the first and greatest proof that the dream you carry is of substance. Delay is heaven's way of verifying whether your desire is a spark or a flame. Only flames are worthy of fuel. The size of your dream determines the size of your delay. A man who wishes for ease will be given quickly what he asks, for it costs the universe nothing. But the man who dares to demand greatness, who seeks wealth, purpose, power, and legacy, he will be delayed, not because he is forgotten, but because the structure must be fortified first. Too many lose heart in the delay because they believe the silence means denial. But silence is not opposition. It is refinement. It is the pause between planting and harvest. You are not being punished. You are being proven. Delay is divine filtration. It separates the imitators from the initiated, the weak from the worthy, the pretenders from the prepared. The first question that must be answered in the realm of success is not, "What do you want?" but, "Can you remain obedient in the absence of reward?" If you require evidence before you persist, your desire is counterfeit. If you collapse when nothing happens, you were never worthy of what you claim to pursue. But if you stand calm, focused, unwavering, then you rise. You must understand the nature of delay. It is not punishment. It is permission. It is the spiritual signal that your request has been received, and that now you must be weighed, because no man is handed the crown until he has first passed through the furnace. No man receives the treasure who faints when the wind blows. Delay is not a curse. It is a calling. Let us turn our eyes to Thomas Edison. For years he toiled, attempt after attempt, failure after failure. He did not cry out. He did not curse the delay. He remained in belief. He understood what most men will never grasp, that the delay was confirmation. 10,000 trials and still no result, yet no bitterness, only belief. And because of it, the light came. Would the light have arrived had he quit? Number, would it have appeared had he questioned the process? Number, the result was not produced merely by effort, but by faith that endured the delay without collapsing. That is the power I call you to build. That is the strength I call you to command. Now say this aloud: I welcome the delay. It proves the treasure is real. I do not faint. I do not panic. I persist with dignity. I walk by faith, not by clock. Speak it until it becomes your weapon in silence. Speak it when your emotions scream for evidence. Speak it when nothing moves, because that is when you are being moved inward. Understand this principle. That which comes quickly often leaves quickly. The riches of life are not scattered, they are summoned. And the summoning takes time. Time to shape you, time to reveal you, time to mature your spirit. Delay is not a wall, it is a bridge. Walk it. Those who quit during delay were never worthy. I say this without apology. A man who abandons his aim at the sound of delay proves he did not want the dream. He wanted the comfort of illusion. He was not a builder, he was a beggar, but those who endure delay are silently advanced. Though the world sees no movement, heaven does. This is the law. The greater the reward, the greater the resistance. And resistance includes delay, because delay tests what cannot be seen. It tests your focus, your language, your energy, your discipline. It reveals what you truly believe. And the man who speaks faith during delay is the man who is trusted with miracles. Delay is your preparation. Delay is your sharpening. Delay is the invisible hand that cuts away your fears, burns away your pride, and constructs the inner man worthy of the outer prize. Do not despise it. Do not flee from it. Use it. Make every hour of delay a builder of patience, of prayer, of posture and power. It is only the man who persists through delay that comes to know himself. All others are exposed by it. Delay strips away excuse. It silences hype. It reveals whether your dream was yours or borrowed from others. And when the man persists after all that, then, and only then, is the door opened. You must make a decision today. A decision that no delay will cancel your commitment. A decision that the length of time has no power over the depth of your belief. A decision that says, I do not ask for speed. I ask for strength. I do not seek ease. I seek endurance. That is the language of power. When a seed is planted, it does not sprout overnight. There are days, weeks, sometimes months where no progress is visible. But beneath the soil, work is being done. Roots are growing. Systems are strengthening. And when the sprout finally breaks the surface, it does so not as a guess, but as a guarantee that the time was not wasted. So it is with your dream. The delay is beneath the surface. Do not let the absence of visible progress deceive you. Your faith is being rooted. Your discipline is being formed. Your subconscious is being instructed. And soon the surface will break, not because of luck, but because of law. Say this again and write it on the tablet of your spirit. Delay is heaven's first sign that something of worth is on its way. I will not rush it. I will not fear it. I will outlast it. Let the world move without you. Let others rise before you. Let the noise pass. You remain, you persist, and you will not be denied. Because delay is not the death of your dream. It is the confirmation that it is alive and growing. Let us continue. Part 2, Infinite Intelligence Works by Law, Not by Clock. You have made a great mistake if you have been watching the calendar, measuring your progress by days and months and years. Time is man's invention. Law is God's. And infinite intelligence does not concern itself with your watch or your deadline. It concerns itself only with readiness, with order, with precision. The universe does not deliver blessings according to the impatience of man. It delivers them by spiritual law, by rhythm, by cause and effect, by definiteness, by obedience. And when you understand this, you will no longer cry because your miracle has not yet arrived. You will rise instead and ask, am I aligned with the law? Too many confuse the absence of results with the absence of favor. But favor is not measured by speed. Favor is measured by alignment. You may wait 5 years, 10 years, but if those years are filled with obedience, with silence, with faith, with refinement, then the reward will come with such force that the years will collapse in a moment. You must stop asking, when will I receive? And then start asking, am I ready to receive? Because infinite intelligence does not reward need. It rewards readiness. It does not deliver based on demand. It delivers based on law. And law has no emotion, no sympathy, no compromise. It only answers to order. Let us consider the life of Henry Ford. Before his vision reshaped industry, before his name became legend, he endured public failure, investor doubt, industrial sabotage. But Ford did not panic. He did not alter his course. Why? Because he was not moving by the approval of man. He was not rushing to fit another man's timeline. He moved by purpose, not pressure. When they mocked him for his determination to build a car for the common man, he did not abandon his plan. He obeyed what he knew. He followed his definite chief aim. And because he walked by law, not by haste, time bowed to him. His reward arrived, not when he wanted, but when he was ready to handle its weight. Say it now. I move by law, not by pressure. I grow by order, not by haste. This is not poetry. It is survival. It is protection against the anxiety that eats the heart of the undisciplined. If you move by pressure, you will break. But if you move by law, you cannot be broken. Let this truth govern your every day. When you obey the law, time bows to you. When you violate the law, you sabotage your own result. The law does not care about your goals. It only honors your preparation. You may speak success all day, but if your thoughts, your schedule, your relationships, your emotions are disorderly, then you have violated the law. Law is spiritual gravity. You cannot see it, but you can feel its pull. And when you align your mind, your faith, your attention, your purpose with that law, delay disappears. Because it was never delay that held you back. It was misalignment. Correct the inner structure, and time becomes your servant. This is why spiritual growth must never be measured by calendars, but by character. Not how long you've waited, but how well you've waited. Have you grown? Have you clarified? Have you controlled your speech? Have you directed your thought? Have you shown infinite intelligence that your foundation will not collapse when the treasure is placed upon it? If the answer is yes, the law will respond. If the answer is no, the law will remain silent, not out of cruelty, but out of justice. For to reward a man who is unprepared is not mercy, it is sabotage. And the law will never betray itself. Let this be your guardrail. If the result is not yet here, it is not because it is being withheld, it is because something in you is still being ordered. Something in you is still being purified. Something in you is still being adjusted. The gift is not late, it is exact. You must be exact in return. This is the difference between the average man and the extraordinary one. The average man wants reward by date. The extraordinary man wants reward by law. The average man wants comfort on schedule. The extraordinary man wants purpose on command. That is why the extraordinary man is remembered, and the average is not. Time can lie to you. Law never does. Time can make you think you've waited long enough. Law says you'll receive it when you're aligned. Time tells you to rush. Law tells you to refine. Time urges you to quit. Law commands you to persist. Choose the master you will serve, either the noise of the clock or the silence of the law. You are being tested, not by time, but by principle. Not by delay, but by instruction. Every day you remain faithful to your aim is a brick laid in the foundation of your reward. And when that structure is complete, the result will rush to you as if it had been waiting for your permission. Do not resent the process. Do not curse the stillness. Do not envy the man who receives his reward quickly. He may be receiving something shallow. But you are being built for depth, for greatness, for permanence. And that cannot be microwaved. It must be forged. Say this again. I do not move by the calendar. I move by the covenant. I do not panic by delay. I prepare by law, and when I am ready, the result will appear. Let this speak louder than your fears. Let this speak louder than your friends. Let this become the rhythm of your inner world. You are not forgotten. You are not stalled. You are being measured. You are being instructed. And when you move in perfect harmony with the law, no man, no obstacle, no circumstance can prevent the arrival of what you've been prepared to carry. Time is for the masses. Law is for the master. Choose which one will govern your destiny. Let us continue. Part 3. The dream must first fit the dreamer. Do you truly believe that you can walk into your dream as you are now? Do you imagine that a purpose great enough to shift your life, bless others, and stand the test of time will be entrusted to a man who has not yet been made strong enough to carry it? No reward is ever greater than the man who receives it. The dream must first fit the dreamer. You are not waiting for the blessing is waiting for you to become someone worthy of it. God does not give wealth to the man who will be crushed by it. He does not give power to the man who will misuse it. He does not give influence to the man who seeks applause more than responsibility. He delays until the man is shaped. And this is why delay must not be feared. It must be understood. You are not being punished. You are being matured. You are being hollowed out in areas where pride still lives, sharpened in places where you've been vague, disciplined in your thinking, restructured in your habits. God is not slow. He is exact. Let us turn our eyes to Abraham Lincoln, a man of vision, a man of principle, but not immediately a man of readiness. He failed in business. He lost in election after election. He suffered ridicule, depression, and long stretches of obscurity. But through that delay, he was being prepared to carry the Union through war. Lincoln was not simply delayed. He was being transformed. Every failure carved out more patience. Every loss stripped away pride. Every disappointment created a deeper root system. So when the presidency arrived, he was not surprised. He was not inflated. He was simply ready. Because the man had finally fit the mission, you are in the same shaping process. The delay is your sculptor. And every time you endure another hour without giving up, another day without drifting, another setback without self-pity, you are becoming the man who can wear the crown without being consumed by it. The prize will not change to fit you. You must change to fit the prize. Say this aloud: my blessing is being shaped to match my maturity. When I am ready, it will arrive. Until then, I prepare, I obey, I remain. The immature man demands results on his own schedule. He believes the dream is something he can grab with his current character. But the wise man studies himself, disciplines himself, watches his habits, refines his motives, and understands that the delay is not holding him back. It is building him up. It is easy to dream, but dreams are heavy. They require stamina. They require structure. They require the ability to withstand public failure, internal fatigue, and spiritual opposition without collapsing. The dream is not given because you want it. It is given because you become identical to what it requires. So ask yourself now, have I built the structure to carry it? Is my mind strong enough? Is my attention controlled? Is my language governed? Is my thinking definite? Is my spirit disciplined? Or would the blessing, if given now, break me? You do not grow by chance. You grow by design. You must begin to treat every day of delay as a day of development. Do not waste this season in distraction or complaining. Do not wander. Do not wish. Work. Build the internal order that matches the greatness you seek. That is how preparation becomes prophecy. Growth often feels like nothing is happening. That is the deception of delay. Because the outer world appears still, the undisciplined mind assumes that the inner world is also idle. But nothing could be further from the truth. Every hour of belief during delay is construction happening in silence. You are not merely waiting. You are being assembled. The man who receives the reward is not the same man who first desired it. He has been stripped, strengthened, focused, and empowered. And so the delay is not the distance between where you are and what you want. It is the process of becoming what you must be. Let this truth live in your bones. You cannot receive what you are not yet prepared to handle. So stop begging for the outcome. Start building the structure. Strengthen your character. Discipline your emotions, fortify your patience, govern your tongue. And when the man is formed, the mission will find him. God delays not to tease you, but to preserve you. If he gave you the full vision today, it would overwhelm you. If he handed you the full reward now, it would crush your foundation. The delay is the divine way of matching the weight of the blessing to the strength of your being. Say it again. The dream is real, but I must be made equal to it. And every moment of waiting is shaping me to carry what I once could only imagine. Do not fight the process. Do not resent the construction. Do not envy the man who appears to move faster. He may be receiving something light. But you are being built for the mountain, not the valley. Your blessing is not shallow, it is structured. And so the delay is not a pause, it is preparation. You must now choose whether you will be impatient or prepared, whether you will fantasize or fortify, whether you will wait as a beggar or be built as a king. The dream must fit the dreamer, and you are the one being shaped. Part 4. When God seems silent, he is watching your response. There comes a point in every pursuit where the heavens go quiet, where your prayers echo back unanswered, where your actions yield no visible fruit, and where your soul whispers, "Is anyone even listening?" In this moment, most men fall, but I say to you, this silence is not neglect. It is observation. God does not speak while he watches, and when infinite intelligence appears to be silent, it is not because you are abandoned. It is because you are being measured, not by your words, but by your response, not by your outer success, but by your inner stillness. For in silence the soul is revealed. Every man wants proof before obedience, but silence is the test that separates servants from sons. It reveals whether your pursuit was built on excitement or conviction, on emotion or decision. And so the silence that surrounds you now is sacred. It is where the real man is seen. It is where the reward is decided. You must stop thinking that silence means you've been forgotten. It means you are being watched. God is not deaf. He is deliberate. And when he sees that you can obey without applause, that you can build without feedback, that you can persist without confirmation, then he releases what he was holding in reserve. Most people cry in silence, but few command themselves in it. Most become passive, uncertain, emotional. But the man who understands divine timing becomes still, not because he has answers, but because he trusts the law. He knows that silence is not the absence of progress, it is the presence of examination. Let us look at Andrew Carnegie, a man who rose from factory floor to the peak of industry. Do you believe his ascent was constant and noise-filled? Number. He spent years in silent obedience, serving men far beneath the level he knew he could become. But he did not complain. He studied, he worked, he prepared. It was not speed that gave Carnegie his success. It was discipline in silence. While others mocked or demanded shortcuts, he remained silent, focused, and definite. And when the hour came, infinite intelligence released a reward that no man could deny, because the silence had trained him, and God had watched him pass the test. Write this into your spirit. I remain faithful in the silence. I stay obedient in the stillness. I am not moved by noise or delay. I am governed by law. If your dream were given to you without silence, you would treat it like a cheap possession. You would not protect it. You would not understand it. You would believe it came by your own hand. But silence teaches you reverence. It teaches you patience. It teaches you to treasure what you one day shall receive. The silence teaches self-mastery. Because in silence there is no crowd to impress. There is no audience to applaud. There is only you, your decisions, your thoughts, your repetitions. And the man who becomes his own commander in this stillness cannot be overthrown when the world begins to speak again. It is not the noise that determines your future. It is how you behave in the void, because in the void you are seen. When no one is watching, infinite intelligence is. When no one is clapping, your thoughts are echoing. When no one answers, your spirit is being graded, and that grade determines your access. Stop begging for signs. Start building structure. Stop pleading for feedback. Start perfecting your formula. Stop watching the sky. Start governing your attention, because the man who proves his readiness in silence will never again question his worth when the gates open. Do not confuse silence with inaction. The silence of God is the stillness before release. It is the tightening of the bow before the arrow flies. It is the quiet before the trumpet. It is the final test before appointment. And if you can remain faithful here, you will rule there. Say it again and mean it. The silence is not punishment, it is preparation. My faith is louder than the void. My spirit obeys even when heaven speaks not a word. I say to you with urgency, how you respond now determines what you receive next. Speak no more defeat. Think no more smallness. Speak your affirmation aloud. Repeat your chief aim daily. Control your attention, direct your emotions, command your thoughts. All of this in silence. If your obedience requires applause, it is false. If your belief needs evidence, it is weak. If your focus drifts because your plan is not praised, you have not yet been forged. The man who cannot walk in silence will collapse in success. But the man who governs himself here, he shall never fall. Do not waste this hour. This silence is not empty, it is sacred. Every minute of self-control during this season is a blueprint for the palace you will soon enter. Every act of faith without evidence is a seed for harvest. And the one who remains unshaken in silence becomes unshakable in power. Write this law upon your mirror, upon your books, upon your heart. Silence increases my strength. Stillness builds my structure. I do not demand sound. I demand growth. And when the silence ends, and it will end, you will not have to chase your reward. It will find you already dressed in readiness, already standing in mastery, already proven in posture. And the world will call you lucky, but heaven will call you faithful. Part 5. The delay is your training ground, not your prison. You have believed the lie that because you are not yet where you want to be, you must be stuck. But there is no such thing as stagnation for the man who obeys purpose. The delay you despise is not a prison. It is your training ground. It is not a punishment. It is the preparation hall of kings. God does not send warriors into battle without drilling them. He does not place crowns on untrained heads. The delay you feel is not rejection. It is rigorous spiritual conditioning. You are being trained in disciplines no comfort could ever teach you. Your patience is being stretched. Your focus is being sharpened. Your instincts are being purified. Do not curse the delay. Command it. Use it. Learn from it. Because the reward you are asking for requires more strength than you now possess. And this delay is where that strength is being forged. The silence is your classroom. The stillness is your forge. The monotony is your muscle builder. What feels like a cage is in fact a corridor. You are being ushered through unseen lessons, through mental drills, through obedience tests. And every day you endure without complaint, every day you persist without confirmation, is a certificate being stamped with your worthiness to rise. Let us look to Charles M. Schwab, who faced steel market collapse, financial storms, and relentless doubt. Yet he rose, not because the world was kind, but because the delay developed him. The very economic furnace that burned others to ash refined him. He was trained by pressure, sharpened by setback, molded by resistance, and so he could carry power without falling. You must embrace this mindset. I am not being delayed, I am being trained. Every hardship is a lesson, every trial is a tool, every quiet day is a construction site for the soul. Your speech is being trained, your emotions are being governed, your endurance is being built, and the man who trains in private cannot be defeated in public. Say this with authority. I train while I wait. I grow while I'm delayed. I will not waste the wilderness. Speak it until it becomes your mental posture. Write it until it etches into your behavior. Believe it until the delay feels like preparation rather than punishment. You do not become a master in moments of victory. You become a master in the hours no one sees, in the dark places, in the routine, in the repetition. When no light shines and no praise comes and no sign appears, that is where the general is formed. That is where the inner man is born. You are not being overlooked. You are being overhauled. Every inconsistency in your discipline is being revealed. Every weakness in your focus is being shown. Every frailty in your belief is being tested. This is not a delay to stop you. It is the divine system preparing you for territory that will destroy the untrained. Do not be fooled. Many receive opportunity too early and are crushed by it. They did not spend time in the wilderness. They avoided the training ground, and so their rise was short, their fall inevitable. You, however, are being protected by the process. The longer the delay, the deeper the root, and the deeper the root, the greater the glory. This delay is forcing you to build foundations no one else sees. While others rush for the surface, you are being drilled down into patience, obedience, stillness, and control. They may appear to move faster, but your rise will be stronger. Because what you build in discipline, no storm can take from you. Say it again. This is not my prison. This is my proving ground. I do not rot, I rise. I do not complain, I command. I do not wander, I train. Now observe this. The only ones who call it prison are those who waste it. But the man who uses every moment of delay to study, to repeat, to sharpen, to build, that man calls it preparation. And he will not envy those ahead of him. For he knows that while they rise by speed, he rises by structure. If God gave you the reward today, would you have the emotional control to protect it? Would you have the spiritual obedience to steward it? Would you have the mental clarity to guide it? If the answer is no, then thank the delay. For it is not harming you, it is helping you become who the blessing requires. You are in divine boot camp, and every day of resistance is building your internal strength. Every repetition of your affirmation is training your subconscious. Every written word of your chief aim is hammering your focus into place. Every act of silence, every day you do not drift, all of it counts. Let this become your creed. While others complain, I sharpen. While others wander, I watch. While others collapse, I construct. This delay will not break me. It will brand me. This is not your end. This is not your punishment. This is your field of fire. This is your hour of becoming. The man who walks through delay without panic, without comparison, without collapse, that man walks out with a crown. Part 6. The reward only appears when you can handle it. There is a reason you have not yet received what you seek. And it is not because it was lost. It is not because it was denied. It is because if given too early, it would have destroyed you. God withholds not to punish, but to protect. The reward does not appear until the man can carry it without collapse. No man has ever sustained a vision larger than his character. To desire is not enough. To beg is not enough. To write it once and hope it arrives is not enough. You must become the kind of man who can hold what you are asking for. And until that transformation is complete, the reward shall remain just out of reach, not as cruelty, but as mercy. A child asks for a sword, but the father does not place it in his hands until he has been trained. Why? Because what is a gift in the hand of the prepared is a weapon in the hand of the unready. So it is with power. So it is with wealth. So it is with your dream. The blessing must not break you. The law is this: you do not receive what you want, you receive what you are qualified to handle, not with certificates, not with titles, but with internal readiness, emotional strength, spiritual integrity, disciplined thought, and controlled attention. The universe does not reward potential, it rewards preparedness. Let us examine the life of John D. Rockefeller. The wealth he carried would have buried a lesser man, but before it came, he was trained in hardship, trained in silence, trained in self-denial. He was not thrown into success. He was forged for it, because untrained riches lead only to destruction. And what of you? If the millions came today, would you know how to guard them from laziness, from fear, from drift? If the audience arrived today, would you know how to speak with authority and not vanity? If the door opened today, would you walk in with humility or ego? The delay is answering these questions for you now. You must become the man who can sustain what you receive, because it is not enough to reach the peak. You must be able to remain there. And that is why many fall. Because they reached heights their spirit had not been trained to inhabit. The wind was too strong, the air too thin, the discipline too weak. So God, in his exactness, withholds, not to tease, but to temper, not to mock, but to mold. And the man who understands this does not fight the delay. He welcomes it. He uses it. He trains under it, because he knows the delay is his shield against self-sabotage. Say this now: I will not rush the miracle. I become the man who can carry the weight. My strength will match my reward. My mind will master my mission. This is not empty speech. This is covenant. This is the law by which all enduring greatness is built, because what is attained too quickly is often abandoned too easily. But what is forged in fire becomes sacred, permanent, unshakable. You are not waiting on a dream. You are being prepared to match it. And if you refuse the training, you will forfeit the reward. Not because God changed his mind, but because you chose speed over strength and timing over truth. Your work right now is internal. Refine your habits, guard your focus, discipline your emotions, govern your thoughts. This is not punishment. This is construction. And when the structure is complete, the result will arrive, not slowly, but suddenly. Do not envy those who appear to move faster. You do not know the weight they carry or cannot carry. You do not know the cracks in their foundation. You do not know how long they will last. But you are being built for permanence, and permanence requires more time. Repeat this: when I am ready, the reward will chase me. I do not chase, it finds me. Because I obey the law, I submit to preparation. I grow into the gift. The man who builds the capacity to hold power shall never fear its arrival, because he knows that the storm of success cannot sink the ship he has anchored in training. And while others drown in what they begged for, he shall command it with peace. So hold your ground, keep building, speak your affirmations, declare your chief aim, do the unseen work, govern your reactions, and remember, God will never place the miracle in your hand until your heart can protect it. Part 7. If you move before the appointed hour, you destroy the gift. The greatest danger to the man with a dream is not the enemy, it is his own impatience. It is the desire to rush what must be ripened, to force what must be formed, to touch what must still be tempered. And in doing so, he violates the law of timing and breaks the very gift he was meant to receive. You must understand, not all delay is denial. Much of it is protection. If you move before the appointed hour, if you act on your feelings rather than divine instruction, you will not only miss the miracle, you may destroy the vessel it was meant to fill. The law of growth cannot be violated. There is an appointed time for every reward. And if you dare to seize what is not yet fully prepared, if you grasp it while your character is still weak, your motives still unrefined, your habits still undisciplined, it will collapse under your touch. You don't have unrealistic goals. You have unrealistic timelines. Your vision is sound. Your desire is noble, but your schedule is carnal. You are asking heaven to obey the clock of earth, but heaven has never rushed a seed to harvest. The appointed hour is written in law, not emotion. Look back at the men who rose too quickly. They were handed wealth, fame, and influence before their discipline, before their focus, before their wisdom. And what happened? They fell. Not because the gift was wrong, but because their readiness was false. They mistook ambition for timing, and ambition alone is not enough. You must resist the urge to open what is not yet ripe. The fruit may appear ready from the outside, but if you break it before its time, the inside will be bitter. Such is the man who rushes his blessing. He may carry it for a moment, but it will turn sour in his hands, not because it was not for him, but because he touched it too soon. Say this aloud: I will not step until the hour is ripe. I trust the plan. I respect the pace. I wait in obedience, not in weakness, but in wisdom. You do not become late by waiting. You become late by forcing the opportunity, forcing the conversation, forcing the growth. You are not building by law. You are building by ego. And what ego constructs, ego must maintain. And ego always collapses under its own weight. Let us examine again Abraham Lincoln. For years he was delayed, defeated in 8 elections, mocked by his peers, called a failure, but he did not rush. He did not force his rise. He obeyed the process. And when the presidency came, he was not inflated. He was prepared, because he waited until the nation needed the man his delay had produced. If he had demanded the position earlier, he would have lacked the maturity, the gravity, the calmness to command a country in crisis. But the delay formed him, and so the gift, when it arrived, was not a surprise. It was a confirmation. So many destroy their destiny because they cannot bear to wait. They step out before the hour. They post before they are ready. They speak before their voice is clean. They lead before they have learned to follow. And the world watches them crumble, not because they were never meant to rise, but because they rose by their own hand. You must kill this rush within you. It is not ambition, it is fear. Fear that the blessing will pass you by. Fear that others will succeed faster. Fear that your name will be forgotten. But that fear is the very thing that will sabotage your future, because no man ruled by fear can receive a kingdom of faith. Declare this now: I do not rush. I do not panic. I do not chase. I trust the law. I walk by order. I move in rhythm. I rise in time. Remember, the blessing is not late. It is exact. You are not waiting on it. It is waiting on you to finish the final lesson, to seal the final crack in your foundation, to master the final part of your thought, your tongue, your walk, your will. And when that hour comes, you will not have to announce yourself. You will not need to knock. The door will swing open of its own accord, not because you forced it, but because you were faithful. So guard yourself. The urge to move too soon will come dressed as urgency. It will say, act now or lose everything. But remember, no gift ordained by infinite intelligence can be stolen. If it is yours, it is stored, and it will be released not a moment early, not a second late, but exactly when your shoulders can carry it. Say it again, for your future demands it. I will not step until the hour is ripe. I trust the plan. I respect the pace. This is not passivity. This is power. This is the stillness of the man who knows he is not forgotten. He is being prepared for perfection. Part 8. God's delay is the setup for divine acceleration. There is a final law I must now reveal, a truth you must write into the marrow of your belief. God's delay is not decline. It is divine momentum. What feels slow is not stagnant. It is pressure building behind the dam, force gathering in stillness, a tide rising in secrecy. The longer it delays, the more sudden its release shall be. The man who has waited in faith does not crawl into his reward. He is launched into it. And those who mocked him for his stillness will marvel at the speed of his rise. Because divine acceleration is not random. It is the natural response to disciplined preparation. You have not been wasting time. You have been gathering force. And while the world measured your progress by motion, infinite intelligence measured your progress by alignment. And now, because you did not faint, did not force, did not flee, you are positioned for a reward so swift it will seem unfair to those who moved without law. The delay is the setup. And every second of silence, every hour of invisible obedience, every day of private discipline has not been ignored. It has been recorded. And when the appointed hour arrives, heaven will not release a drop. It will release a flood. Let me remind you of Edison once more. For years he endured silence, failures, rejection, But when the light came, it came suddenly. Not because he was lucky, but because the law had been satisfied. His preparation demanded release. And so it came, quickly, permanently, completely. This is how divine timing works. Slowly, slowly, then suddenly. This is not a contradiction. It is a rhythm. You are not building for a trickle, you are building for a torrent. And that requires longer, deeper preparation. But when it arrives, you will cover in a day what others could not reach in a year. Say this aloud with absolute certainty. My reward is building, my momentum is gathering, I do not rush, because I know what's coming is great. This is not wishful speech, this is law, this is alignment. This is the voice of the man who knows he is being lifted, not by effort alone, but by obedience to timing. The one who rises with the wind of God behind him shall never need to force the door, it will fly open by itself. There is no time lost in divine alignment. All that delay does not subtract, it compounds. The strength you gained in the wait, the clarity you developed in silence, the endurance you built in solitude, all of it becomes your weapon, your voice, your platform. Acceleration follows the man who passed the test. Let the world be confused by your stillness. Let others run ahead. Let them speak, move, posture, perform. You remain, you train, you obey. And in the moment of heaven's choosing, you shall pass them, not in pride, but in proof. This is the promise: that which delays longest often strikes hardest. That which waits in silence often rises in sound. That which grows beneath the soil often bears the strongest fruit. You are being set up for a breakthrough that will erase the memory of delay. Declare this again and again. Every second I have waited was fuel for what's coming. My rise will not be by force, it will be by favor. This is not imagination, it is spiritual law. What you could not move by strength will be moved by obedience. What you could not reach by hustle will be handed to you by preparation. What once felt impossible will be suddenly in your grasp, because you no longer chased. You became worthy. You are not being teased. You are being positioned. Every unseen act of discipline has been placed on a scale. And when the scale tips, the blessing comes so quickly, so powerfully, so completely, that no man will ever again question your right to possess it. The question now is not whether it will come. It is whether you will remain unshaken until it does, whether you will stay consistent, whether you will keep speaking your affirmation, whether you will keep reciting your definite chief aim, whether you will keep holding posture when others drift. If you can endure this final stretch, if you can hold your spirit in obedience just a little longer, your eyes shall soon see what your soul has believed, and it will not come slowly, it will come suddenly. Because the blessing was never lost. It was building. Say this one final time with full conviction. If I have waited long, it is because I am being trusted with something permanent. I shall not rush. I shall not faint. I am ready for divine acceleration. Let the noise fall. Let the doubters scoff. You stay ready. You stay certain. And when the hour strikes, you will not walk into your reward. You will be carried into it. Not by chance, not by man, but by the very law you obeyed when no one was watching. God's delay is not the end. It is the launch point. And now you are ready.